Can you talk a little bit more about the video consumer mapping study and some of the results?
Absolutely. We found out, for example, that media plays a huge part in people's daily lives. We found out what was really interesting is there was all this thought in the industry that nobody under the age of 30 watches television. And we found out through our study that viewers 18 to 24 watch an average of 3.5 hours a day of television, which is huge because they use TV more than any other medium. And it was thought that, they'd be online more than watching television. But they are the most heavy consumers of online media. But we also learned that, really surprisingly, and we didn't expect this, that people between the ages of 45 and 54 consume more content than any other age group. They consume TV like older consumers, but use computers and mobile like younger consumers. And they actually consume media an hour more a day than all the other age cohorts that we looked at, and we nicknamed them digital boomers. We also found out that media occurs in the context of other media, but one is usually dominant. And we found out that people who watch television or playback items on DVRs are much more likely to be using those two media as a sole medium. We've also seen that online usage is really high, but online video is not particularly high because not a lot of people in our sample had the broadband connections. But we envision that this will grow because of the advent of the digital transition. Keep in mind that we came out of the field in fall of 2008, so that was before the digital transition. So when that took place in June, a lot of people went back and upgraded their cable television subscription and wound up getting the triple play packages, which gave them, the faster broadband connection and also more access to different cable channels. So we're seeing a lot more growth, and we'll probably see a lot more growth of online video consumption through 2010. We've seen the growth of Hulu. But what we do need even more so is better currency measurement of online consumption, so we can bring all those numbers together.
Shari, you had mentioned digital boomers as this interesting and surprising demographic breakout. Have you worked with any clients to change their targets based on this new consumer breakout group?
While I can't say that any changes have happened per se, it was very eye-opening because everyone thinks it's younger viewers or younger consumers who are doing the quote-unquote multitasking, and we're kind of getting them away from the term multitask because multitasking really implies simultaneous. And again, we saw by observing these consumers that one medium is dominant over another. But what we also revealed, how eye-opening it is that media takes place in the context of life activities, being, while you're working, there's always something probably playing in the background, and, we saw a lot of online video consumption in the workplace. So media is dominant in people's lives. We've seen a lot of media consumption that takes place during meal preparation, and during household chores, which is, pretty much a no-brainer. But what's really fascinating to us is just how intertwined media is and how important it is in people's lives, and how close a media exposure can be to the shopping occasion. So there are some really huge findings that have come out of that. And it's also helped our clients to see the diversity within an age group that, if, for example, you have a target of, 25 to 54, you now know that that you need to use a mix of things to really reach all of these consumers. And that even if you want to reach somebody over 45, you know that you can still get them online.
Can you give me 3 predictions for the next 5 years?
Okay, prediction number 1, DVRs will never hit 50% of the country. There's too many other ways to get content. Prediction number 2, mobile devices will start to become little televisions because the standard was just passed that would allow mobile devices to get live television signals, much as the way that they are coming through digital television now. The third prediction is that, well, maybe it's more of a wish than a prediction, that we'll have a currency service that can really measure commercials across all platforms. That would be an amazing prediction.
I hope it comes true.
Yeah.
So Shari, we've spoken a lot about television and platforms. Where do you see television as a media form, let's say 10 years from now?
In terms of content, television will always be there. It's the great cultural unifier. People love being entertained and watching TV. I bet you would have to be living in a cave not to know about what's going on with Tiger Woods. So there's it truly is the global village that Marshall McLuhan spoke of. And with social networking on top of that, I see a big interplay with information sharing and content sharing. I know that TV is here to stay. It may morph into different ways that you can get television, but television will remain dominant in people's lives.